Coming up this week, Anthony Mackie received a bit of backlash from a clip of his interview on the Pivot podcast. But were his comments taken out of context? The Trump administration continues to advance its Project 2025 agenda. We'll discuss how this directly impacts the black community. And finally, this NBA season has been absolute madness. We'll talk likes, dislikes, and what we would like to see as the playoffs approach. We'll get into all this and more, so please, please, please stop what you're doing. You are now tuned in to The Large Picture. Let's go! Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Large Picture with Javon Berry. Please give yourself a round of applause. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, wherever you see the show, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend as we try to rig the algorithm a little bit in our favor, because you know it's kind of going in the other direction that we don't need, but that's for a later date. But yeah, man, wherever you see the show at, man, like, share, subscribe so we can grow this audience, man. If you think there's something dope that we should discuss, something that you want us to talk about, send it our way. Leave it in a comment, send us a message, and, you know, if we like it enough, we'll definitely get it on the show. I know it's been a little minute. I know we've been having these ups and down hiccups, but, you know, we getting there. We figured some more stuff out, so we're going to see where this train takes us. But I want to kick off the show talking about a topic that came up recently. Trying to see how to best start this. I say this. I'm going to start this by saying something about me first, right? My name is Javon Glenn James Berry. I am a black man, born and raised on the south side in the south suburbs of Chicago, Illinois. And because of that, there are a few things that really shape my perspective in who I am, right? One is being black. It's a major thing that shaped my perspective. Another thing is my environment. Shape my perspective. And lastly is I have a incredible amount of empathy. And that is important for what we're going to talk about in this topic. So remember I said the things that shape my perspective is being a black man in this country who grew up in a certain environment, who also has an incredible amount of empathy. Very important. I say all that to say, recently, Captain America star, Marvel star, newly appointed Captain America, Anthony Mackie, did an interview on the Pivot podcast where, I don't know if triggered is the right word. It kind of riled up some folks with his with some words and some messaging. I thought it was a bit of an overreaction. I don't think it was necessary, especially if you tune into the entire interview. But, you know, folks seen the clip online, and online, as things are online, people see one thing and make this big reaction thing, and it snowballs into something really, really huge. But Anthony Mackie, I'm really trying to find the best way to say this. Anthony Mackie went on the Pivot and he discussed masculinity and manhood, and what I thought was him describing being a father, but it was some coded words in there, some coded messaging. I will say this, for the people who were triggered, a lot of them I seem to be black women or members of the LGBTQ community who are a little triggered by the statements. I could say I see why antennas were raised, because there was some coded language in there that other people have used in the past. I will also say I don't think Anthony Mackie meant it how it could have been perceived. I don't think he meant it that way, and we'll discuss more on that later. But I'm going to play this clip, and like I said, for the most part, for the clip itself is fine. Were there one or two points in there that people kind of nitpicked or like triggers were raised? Sure, and I guess we'll discuss those points. We will discuss those points, not I guess. So yeah, let's listen to the clip and have a discussion about where the dialogue kind of went online. But here's the clip.
I keep my boys humble. Like, my boys have never had a pair of Jordans. You know, my boys don't do all that internet fly shit. I'm like, your kids. And no, I don't give a I could be the biggest star in the world. Do not let me catch you being stupid. Mm-hmm. Do not. And my oldest gets it. My 15-year-old, he tells the other ones, he's like, yo, don't make dad mad. Because once you get one that's right, he gonna straighten the other ones out. Mm-hmm. So it's just that thing of, in the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male. They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities, for one reason or another. But I raised my boys to be young men. And however you feel about that, you feel about that. Right. But my boys will always be respectful. They will always say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. They will always say thank you. They will always open a door for a lady. They will always make sure that their mother is taken care and provided for. They will always be men. And that's always, since they were 2 years old. Every time I left for a job, I tell my 15-year-old, you're the man of the house. Mm. You make sure these doors are locked every night, this alarm is on, you text me or you call me every night before you go to bed and you wake up.
I love that.
Because we're men. If I'm not there to protect, he got to be there to protect. Because you can have all the money in the world, climb through the window, that money means nothing. Right. You can have all the celebrity in the world, jump through the door, that celebrity means nothing. Yeah. So you got to have a little guard in there, you know? And so for me, it's always that idea of American masculinity is very different.
So a couple of the points where people kind of got like I like to say, the antennas went up, is when he said, we are living through the death of the American male. They're literally killing masculinity in our communities. Though that's a pretty big statement to make. That's a pretty broad statement to make. And like I said, this is coming from my perspective, someone who is a black man in America with an incredible amount of empathy. This is important. This is why I keep repeating it. But it's just important so you understand where I come from, you see my vision. Right? So Anthony Mackie said what he said. People got up in arms online, started calling him homophobic, saying that, you know, he was, not pro-woman, not pro-LGBTQ. I don't think any of that is the case. I understand why flags were raised, because historically when you use phrases like they're destroying the masculinity or, the American male is dying, when you use phrases like that, the folks who use phrases like that use it for nefarious reasons. It's no different than the Great Replacement Theory, right? For those of you not aware, the Great Replacement Theory is a conservative, racist, they say conservative when they talk about it. It's a racist theory pushed by white folks, white supremacists, that states there is an agenda to replace every white person in this country. It's where you get the lies about 40 million illegal immigrants all illegal voting, all on Social Security. It's where you get those dumbass lies when y'all was posting those receipts about the Venezuelans getting $15,000 in food stamps, even though the shit don't make no fucking sense. Y'all was sharing it online. That's where that stuff comes from. It all comes from the same place. Google Great Replacement Theory. It is a conspiracy. It is conservative bullshit, right? That's where that is what's, I'm not saying this right. That's what it's akin to, right? Death of masculinity, death of the man. So that's why people's flags were up in arms, because historically, that verbiage is used to further advance white supremacy, further enact oppression to marginalized groups, right? So that's why people were frustrated. What I would say to the people who were frustrated, going forward in the future, watch the entire interview. I think you will learn a bit more. I have another clip that I'm going to play that kind of puts stuff more in perspective as well. But before I do that, I want to talk about where the conversation started going online, right? Because like I said, Anthony Mackie made those comments and there was all kind of outrage online. So here's a clip of the Joe Budden podcast. Shout out to the Joe Budden podcast. When they were discussing Anthony Mackie's, the clip I just played, and some of their interpretation of it.
Efforts that are out there to discredit and silence.
I'm not talking.
But you have to acknowledge that too, man.
I'm not.
Man, wait. Listen, you you should acknowledge the fact that there is a movement to discredit the black man, to discredit men.
The straight black man.
The straight,
not just black man, the straight
Online,
black man.
They're showing that women have all this power and women are in control of the home and the black man are not here to take care of their children.
Legislation says different.
Legislation where?
Legislation that's being passed, Roe v. Wade being overturned, the anti-abortion laws. There is literally...
We're talking about social media that's being fed to our children. Okay. And now if you go on here, there's always something to discredit the black man.
So that's where the conversation shifted. It went from there is an attack on masculinity to there are forces out here trying to discredit the straight black man. There's an attack on straight black man. I am a black man in this country with an incredible amount of empathy. This is my perspective, right? Somebody was to ask me to tell the truth. Javon, you're a straight black man living in America. Do you believe that there is an attack on straight black men? I will tell you no. I will rebuttal that there is an attack on blackness as a whole. And we'll talk about that in a bit. There is definitely an attack on blackness. I feel like because there is an attack on blackness, because it's done with so many nefarious motives, because it's done so sneakily and we don't understand how we kind of fueled by social media. Hey, real quick, I want you to ask yourselves, you don't think it's odd that real red pill community seemingly came out of nowhere? An entire community used to target men, to speak about target young men to speak a certain way about black women. You don't think that's odd that it just came out of nowhere? Just think about it. We'll get to that in later episodes. But that's just remember I said that. It's just odd that after a certain year, it just started building up. Not saying that people didn't speak about women like this for forever. Hell, it's odd that it was so targeted to young black men. Remember I told you that. We'll discuss that in later episodes. But I feel like because there is a clear and apparent attack on black folks in general, and we don't understand the ways that it is an attack, we misdirect the anger, the rage at the wrong people. You can't. Black women are not organizing an attack on straight black men. It's just not happening. But there are forces who attack black people. The LGBTQ community are not organizing an attack on straight black men. But there are forces who are. At the heart of every civil rights movement, protest, whatever, organization, women's rights, championing black men, anytime any of us are harmed by police, by outside forces that threaten our community, women and gay folks are always at the center. Always, historically. You don't need to guess this. Google's free. We can do the research. Any major civil event. Angela Davis. Any major senator, like it's mind-boggling to me that we get into all these conspiracies when we can just look at the research. We can look at what's going on in the world, and we can see where the real attack is coming from, but we're misdirecting it at black women and the LGBT community. Historically, two of our biggest allies as straight black men. Historically, do the research. Do the research. Now, I'm not saying there are issues that we don't have to address, of course. 400 plus years of slavery can only leave you with trauma. And if it's never properly addressed, it just festers and grows and it shows in different ways. We know this. That ain't rocket science. Y'all know this. But I want you to ask yourself, why do you feel black women and gay folks are out to get straight black men? Who told you to feel that way? Because if these are the same group of people who are boots on the ground anytime some shit happens, something's not adding up to me. I don't know if I'm off in saying that. I don't know if y'all feel me out there, but these can't be the people that are attacking the straight black man. So I don't want folks to misdirect their anger and rage that you should have, because again, there is a clear and apparent attack. But you just sending it to the wrong place. You're attacking both of your biggest allies. You like the administration in office now. Oh, we're going to war with Canada. Why? We're going to trade war with Mexico. Why? They're right there. We have relationships. When we need things, when LA was just having them fires, Canada and Mexico sent their when they couldn't get the stuff under control, Canada and Mexico sent reserve firemen. Hey, help, do what you. It makes no sense. So when I hear black men say, "Yo, this is because of black women," or this is because of gay folks, you just not reading enough, beloved. Respectfully, you're not reading enough. The feeling that some of you are feeling when you say, when Flip from the Joe Budden podcast say, women are in this power, or you know, it's threatening the black man, right? Or the straight black man is, you know, as more LGBTQ people get rights, it threatens the straight black man. No, you're just seeing other groups finally get more rights, and you just have to share the space. Like, come on, we know this. This is the same shit that the white folks is saying. My perspective is a black man in this country with an incredible amount of empathy, meaning I understand other marginalized groups and I feel for you and I understand. My favorite MLK quote, threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Meaning, if you're coming for their rights, you're coming for mine. Because you just don't stop at one marginalized group. If you hear folks threatening the rights of women, if you hear folks threatening the rights of gay folks, best believe they're coming for your black ass too. So it does us better to be together. I don't understand this whole divide of this conspiracy. Like I said, there are real forces that are genuinely attacking our community. Real forces. We shouldn't spend this time going back and forth creating problems that matter none. There isn't an attack on a straight black male. There is an attack on black people. The quicker you understand that, the quicker we can get to some resolution. We can make some kind of progress. Right? You're feeling threatened, like the white folks feel threatened when you see this anytime a black movie comes out or a black video game comes out. I'm a Harry Potter fan, even though I don't rock with J.K. Rowling for obvious reasons. But one of the first, my mom had me reading a lot when I was young. I started off reading Goosebumps and, stuff like that, Bernstein Bears, and I graduated. She had me reading Judy Blume. And then one year, when Harry Potter was popular, she got me the complete set. Huge books. Read them every day. Big fan. Fuck J.K. Rowling, but big fan. They're shooting a series, and they is rumored to cast a black man as Severus Snape. I went in that comment section. Those folks were furious. Angry faces. Why would you put somebody black in this? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Same thing with Anthony Mackie as Captain America. Even though Captain America was black in the comics. Same thing. Why would you do this? Why would you ever do this? Why does Assassin's Creed came out? They got the new Assassin's Creed got a black samurai everywhere. All just everywhere. So, if we know this, if we know folks have issue with blackness and representation, why are we doing the same thing when women get representation or gay folks get representation? It makes no sense. I seen one of the Hotep Twitter cats, right? I don't want to say his name. I seen one of the cats, and he said a couple things that he's becoming rather popular. He said a couple things that rubbed me the wrong way. One of which was when the Doechii Hot Ones thing. This is another point to the same topic. When Doechii went on Hot Ones and they asked her dating wise what's a red flag, and she said straight man, and Muzz was just up in rage. Even though if you listen to the mixtape and it's, whatever, Muzz was up in arms about that. Again, not having full context, right? The Hotep cat says, he tweets and he says, Doechii is pushing heterophobia. And that just made me think of when white folks say this is reverse racism. Because what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Historically, are heterosexual people marginalized because of their sexual orientation? No, right? There's no heterophobia. There's no reverse racism. But you see the parallels. You see it's foolish. So when you say there is a threat to the straight black man because you're seeing gay folks on TV now, like I don't understand that. Like these are what people don't understand is, and I say this to a lot of people, what people don't understand is just because you don't like some shit don't mean it's not valid, don't mean it's not real, don't mean these people don't deserve rights. Like, you're talking about living, breathing human beings. And we're having real life discussion about what kind of rights living, breathing human beings can have. Niggas is getting mad if they see two men kiss. Why? Oh, it's not for the kids. It's not for the kids. Okay, cool. Cool. Be sure to explain that to your kids, though. Because this is the world, and it's not just going away just because you don't raise your kids to be hateful. Please. Because in the real world, this is the world. They're going to come across gay people. They're going to come across trans people. They're going to come across people of different cultural backgrounds, people who look different, talk different. Right? Prepare your children. I don't understand it, bro. And like I said, because of my perspective, it makes it hard for me to grasp. You gotta have empathy, man. These are other marginalized groups we talking about. Nobody is attacking straight black men. That is made up bullshit for the internet. But people are attacking black people. And we can prove that. But before we prove that, I want to tie a bow on this conversation about Anthony Mackie and him when they were calling him homophobic online. Like I said, if folks would have listened to the whole interview, I don't think you would have gotten that perspective. I get it. It's easy to see a clip and just go into a tizzy. I wouldn't go online with it if I don't know what's going on. I see stuff. I'd be like, what is this? Whatever. But I research it before I post online because I believe that's what you should do. So I would suggest to folks, next time you see a clip, go watch the whole interview before you do your think pieces and all that, because you don't want to look silly. So here's another clip of Anthony Mackie from the same interview. We'll listen to it and discuss.
Growing up in the South in the 90s and 80s, you grow up homophobic, sexist, and racist. And we talking about the 80s and the 90s. That's just a fact. You know what I mean? So when I got to school, my roommate was gay. Like, I didn't know how to deal with that. Like, my brother's gay. I didn't know how to deal with that. So being a man, I used my art to better myself. I played Perry so that I could understand my brother better. So I could understand my friends better. Going to art school, a bunch of my friends were gay. You know what I mean? Like, when I was a kid, we had a record label. We had the first gay rapper. Nobody gave a f***. You make good music, nobody care. You know, Big Frida is famous.
Here, for sure.
For sure. You know what I mean? So the idea of being gay in New Orleans has always not only been supported, but it's been a part of the culture. But with me, I needed to figure out what was my holdup, what was my insecurity about that. And once I played that role, I realized everybody deserves to be loved. It's not my job to say who you love or who should love you. If you loved, I'm happy for it. That don't mean I'm gay. You know, so Perry was more so a statement piece for me with the love and admiration for my brother, with the appreciation and respect of my friends for that culture. It really put me in a position where I think it made me a better actor because I had to go so far out the box. I had to go to the furthest spectrum away from myself to play that role.
So in that clip, Anthony Mackie is talking about when he played a character that kissed a man, I believe. And that just goes to show you, I've seen a lot of people retracting the original comments about him being homophobic and all this stuff. And in both these clips, is everything 100% what he said correct? Probably not. But the vast majority of it is. The vast majority of it is. In the second clip, I shared it because I believe it's incredibly important to have these type of conversations. Anthony Mackie was describing how he grew up, how he was conditioned to feel about a certain group of people, and how he learned checked himself and adjusted. That is a lesson that we all can learn from. All of us alike, not even black folks. Can you imagine if these folks right now who that you know were just raised racist had a conversation, had an understanding, and realized that this is fucked up. This is fucked up. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of folks out there that are like that. Not enough, in my opinion, but there are a lot of folks out there that are like that. Family was a certain way, raised a certain way, felt this was wrong, and course corrected. Right? That's how we should want white folks to be as allies, right? That's how I try to be for other groups. That's how I try to be for black women. That's how I try to be for the LGBTQ community. As an ally with a voice. As a straight black man, your presence, your recognition doesn't threaten me. Thank you for being my ally and being down for folks who look like me when shit get rough. I'm gonna be down there for you when shit get rough. That's allyship. That's true. That's true supporting blackness. That's why when these folks get on here and they talk all that blackity black, oh, I'm down for this, I'm black, I'm this, I'm doing this. If you not including everybody, we ain't really having a conversation. Because there's some of y'all I know don't love black folks more than me. Because I love everybody. Ask my wife when we turn on Family Feud. Ask my wife when we turn on any game show who I'm rooting for. You know how it go, baby. We rooting for everybody black. Everybody black. So I wanted to tie that up to hopefully lead into more discussions going forward that we can have with other communities, man. That is how I grew. I learned. I'll not for this episode, other episodes. I got stories, man. But I'll have conversations about friends of other communities. I'll tell you about my trans homie. I'll tell you about family members. And I'll tell you the stuff I learned by having conversations. I just wish that's my ultimate goal, that we all could get to a point where we can have real conversation and truly, truly work together. Because all this other shit is bullshit. This whole man versus women shit, bullshit. There's no attack on the straight black man. Yes, you're talking about, Flip mentioned women being in power and all that. It's like, yeah, women, have jobs and have money. And, your father and his father told all of them that, all you got to do is bring the money and pay the bills, and, the women take care of the rest. And I guess, to some degree, I understand if you were conditioned to be that way and you saw the world not being that way, I can understand why it could be, at the very least, a mind fuck for you, right? Man, my granddaddy told me all I got to do was go to work. That's all they did, and they were straight. Shit not like that, bro. And not just because of the financial, stuff in the state of the economy. We wish that was better. We wish that folks didn't have to work 2 jobs to afford a decent living. But just from a civil rights aspect, women deserve the same rights that men have. And if women get the same rights that men have and they advance in the workforce, yeah, the dynamics of some shit change. She got bread too. She making decisions too. She got a voice too. That's her name on that lease. That's her name on that credit card. All shit that couldn't happen before 1970. Nigga, that's the year my mother was born. It's not that long ago. All shit that couldn't happen before 1970. So this women getting power and men feeling threatened thing, this is fairly new, but you can see it's a correlation between the two, right? Man up here, women get a little, oh man, you're threatening me. No, this is just natural selection of life, bro. We should want everybody to advance, everybody to have equal rights. Why are we waking up, going back and forth? I just hate you red pill niggas. I don't get it. I don't like the homophobic niggas. I don't like the red pill niggas. You lucky y'all watch Paradise? You're lucky I ain't write Paradise. My Paradise have been lit, first of all. But it'd just be everybody. And if you got a problem, you can't come, bro. You can't come. That should be what we're working towards, bro. Anything else is just noise and nonsense to me. That's where I'm at in my life, bro. Love everybody. Everybody want to talk about these Christian values and Christian, and the name of Jesus, but they don't honor the Jesus love everybody part. Jesus ain't say love when it's convenient, right? Right. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But to put a bow on that, man, there is no attack on the straight black man. There is an attack on black people. Right? And there's no conspiracy. There's no riddle that you have to solve. You don't have to watch this YouTube video or this DVD series or pledge this donation to find out the truth. All you got to do is open a newspaper. All you got to do is find a reliable news source. It's a shame that we got to say that right now. But all you have to do is find a reliable news source to see the attacks on the black community. Before Trump got elected, he told you what Project 2025 was, right? Before he got elected, they were already laying the groundwork for the stuff, causing the friction and the tension that we feel. Hey, we're banning African American studies courses in Florida, all at the collegiate level. Anything that teaches African American, we're banning it. Any books, we're banning it. Right? Setting the foundation. Oh, this is too woke. Oh, we're rolling back affirmative action. Right? This is all at Trump's behest. Right? If you ain't figured it out by now, this is the attack on the black community. Not the gay people, not the women trying to take down a straight black man. It's somebody just trying to take us all out as a whole. They're banning your books that teach you history, rolling back your protections to have upward mobility in this country, become an executive, go to fine establishments, learning institutions rather. They're rolling all that stuff back. That's the attack on the black community. They're doing it in our face. Just turn on a reliable news source. Not Fox. Turn on a reliable news source. At this point, probably not even CNN, even though I do shout out to my girl Abby Phillips. Some dope folks over there. They said they want to cut Social Security and Medicaid. Let's talk about that. This is my politics section of the pod, right? We had a politics drop. Politics.
Politics as usual.
Politics as usual. They want to cut Medicaid and Social Security. And while we talk about that, let's discuss. I just want to say quickly why they want to cut it. They want to cut it so they can fund tax cuts for billionaires. They want to take away your Social Security and your Medicaid. This is what all this shit is about, right? The federal jobs, the Social Security, the Medicaid, all the shit that they want to cut, the Department of Education, the funding that they give for all that stuff, they want to cut it so they can give tax breaks to billionaires. That's it. That's it. Mostly. They want to cut the Department of Education because they want to keep you stupid. But that's another thing. But yeah, this is mostly tax breaks for billionaires. Social Security and Medicaid are two programs that affect the most vulnerable populations in this country. That is what they're designed for, to help people get by SNAP benefits, Social Security, Medicaid, to help bridge the gap, for people living close to the poverty line or below the poverty line. Let's talk about the most vulnerable. And let's just say that benchmark is the poverty line. Above, below determines the most vulnerable people, right? There are 7.7% of white Americans in this country, 7.7% of white Americans in this country below the poverty line. Those are the most vulnerable. You know how many that is for black folks? 17.9%. Now, we only make up 12% of the population. And 17%, damn near almost a fifth, are below the poverty line. A lot more still struggling because we know, but below the poverty line. These are the most vulnerable. Right? These are the most vulnerable. These are the people that are going to be hurt the most by Social Security being axed, Medicaid being axed. This is your attack on the black community. Listen to me when I tell you. This is what you should be focused on. Right? They're attacking federal jobs. Do you know the vast majority of the black middle class was built by federal jobs? That's something else that you can research, that you can Google. This is an absolute fact. The majority of the black middle class, the majority of black wealth in this country was built by federal jobs. And they are slashing the funding for federal jobs. If you don't believe me, just go talk to some of your older relatives. You know, you grew up like I knew. I was born in 1990. OG 90s baby is what I like to call myself. I was born in 1990. I remember growing up when folks say, man, Joe, such and such got a job at the post office. That's a good job. That's a good job. That's good benefits. That's good benefits. You're going to have a good retirement. Folks built that up and built a middle class out of that, amongst other federal jobs. And he's slashing them. What do you think that's going to do to the black community? This directly impacts us. Half of all books being banned, we discussed book banning. Half of all books being banned, black or LGBTQ folks, directly impacts the black community. You don't have to look for a conspiracy. You don't have to make up shit like heterophobia. You don't have to say that there is an attack on the straight black man when there is a blatant attack on the black community as a whole, is the point that I'm trying to get to you. They removed the clause that reversed they removed a clause that no longer explicitly bans segregated facilities in federal contracts. Meaning if you have a federal contract to build a building, you can say, or it's not explicitly banned. It's not explicitly banned. I don't want to say you can say, because I'm sure there's some kind of judge out there with sense. We would hope that there's some kind of judge out there with sense that wouldn't let this go through, right? We would hope. But in theory, federal contract could build a building that had a bathroom that said whites only, blacks only. Had a water fountain that said whites only, blacks only. Had a restaurant that said whites only, blacks only. In theory. Why would they do that if there wasn't a blatant attack on the black community? Don't look for no boogeyman from these YouTube hotep niggas who want to tell you that it's black women that is causing you the problems in this country. Who want to tell you that it's the LGBTQ people that are causing the problems in the community. No. There's a clear threat. And some of you niggas are supporting it. I got a problem with that. But I can't. I've been listening to a lot of people who've been doing this longer than I have. I was real happy when Mark Lamont Hill got on the Joe Budden podcast because it was becoming a real tough listen for me on topics. There was misinformation at times that would frustrate me. And the way that I watch Mark, and I've always been a fan of Mark Lamont Hill. Even when it was at Fox, if I met him right now, I would ask him how he felt when he was on Bill O'Reilly's show and he joked about him looking like a drug dealer. I would ask him that. I would just want to know things like that. But I bring up Mark Lamont Hill because a lot of the times when he makes a point, I know it's a point that, like, I've said, like, a topic would come out on, I don't fucking know, on a Thursday, and they record on Friday, and I see the topic on a Thursday, and I would break it down, and I'd be like, no, my perspective is this. By the time I'm listening to the next episode of the podcast, when they discuss that topic, Mark Lamont Hill has that same perspective, but he has something that comes with experience. He doesn't wear the frustration when you think folks are just being stupid. Like, I got a tendency to get upset and I kind of like want to scream if folks are not, because to me it doesn't make sense why we're attacking gay folks because we're talking about we're feeling threatened when there's a motherfucker in office who is literally trying to roll back every civil rights era protection. It doesn't make sense to me. And it seems like when it doesn't make sense for him, he does it in such an articulate way that's kind of diffusing to get his point across. I want to learn that. So I was real happy when he got on that show. I want to learn how to do that. I want to learn how to see some of this ignorant stuff that I see online, process it, and spit out a rebuttal in a not so aggressive way. Because I be coming off aggressive at times. I know that about myself. I'm really trying to work on that. But to put a bow on this, I want to say that there's a clear attack on the black community by the Trump administration. You don't have to guess. You don't have to create a conspiracy. I'm not telling you to do donations to buy my book or the school that I've been building for the last 10 years. I am telling you there's a clear attack on black men. There's no boogeyman. We're seeing who's doing it. And we should acknowledge that and work on solutions together as black folks, about what we can do to support each other and help get us through this, because we're only 12% of the population. We need all the numbers that we can get. We need all the allies that we can get. We don't have time to exclude anybody. We don't have the luxury to exclude anybody. That shouldn't even be in our hearts to do. Because at our core, we are welcoming people, accepting people. Yeah, you can come to the cookout. Yes. Regardless of what happened over the last 400 years, Yeah, if you cool, you come on. We're not looking at you crazy. You cool. White, Asian, Mexican, whatever. You cool. That's us at our core. I'm just saying we have to do a bit better about correcting some of these things that we were taught because it's not beneficial to us. And I know we're going to talk about more of this later because it's just a subject that I'm passionate about and I want to bring more people on to have that discussion too. I got to work on my interviewing skills and stuff like that. But yeah, to put a pin on this, not the women, it's not the black women attacking the black man. It's not the gay folks attacking the straight black man. It's the administration in office. We have the receipts. We know what they're doing. Let's focus our attention on them. Got it? Get it? Good. Cool. Boom. Other news, man. NBA season. You know, I am a NBA lover. I am an NBA enthusiast. I'm probably the world's greatest foremost basketball expert on the low that you don't know about. Like we love this hoop shit over here. This season been a little crazy. A lot of injuries, man. A lot of injuries. Some surprises. I want to talk about what I think is dope so far. I like the Jimmy Butler trade to the Warriors, man. I like Jimmy Butler to the Warriors, doggy. 14-3 in their last 17 games since he got there. Defensive efficiency is up. Offensive efficiency is up. Field goals percentages is up. Steph himself, his 3-point percentage rose from like a 38% to a 40%. Went from 23 points to 28.1. Muzz just moving. There's energy there. They're defending at a high level. It looks good. It's exciting to see as a Warriors fan. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy they got a number 2 for Steph because he is a generational talent, a generational point guard, by the way. He is leading this team in assists. For those who said he is not a point guard, I'm gonna call my homie. I'm gonna bring him on here so we can have that Steph point guard conversation because I'm not even gonna go there right now. Since Jimmy Butler got there, the Warriors seem to be rolling. Now I will say, they had a difficult schedule in the first part of the season. They're on the latter end of it. Schedule's a little lighter. So, you know, you take that from what it was, but I know Steph is special. I seen Steph win a championship with Andrew Wiggins being the second best player. I can't imagine what he could do with Jimmy Butler as the second best player. Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green seems re-energized. Moses Moody looks good. Buddy Hield. It's so Gary Payton II. They got a squad over there. They like size. That's one thing that I'm concerned about. They definitely like size. But man, they defending, they moving the basketball. Had a tough loss to Denver, -3 starters, no Jokic, no Jamal Murray. Steph looked tired, just didn't have it in them. They couldn't hit threes or free throws. That's usually a sign that the legs are tired. You ain't got no legs up under you. You burnt out. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. They hovering around that 6 seed right now. We'll see what that matchup is going to be. What else I'm liking? Oh, duh. Luka to the Lake Show. I was hurt for my dog AD at first. I was skeptical about the fit with Luka and LeBron. They've looked, great at time, and he played a 3-point shooting team and they got a little crazy. But they fought back in that before Bron got hurt. I think they can make some real noise. I am concerned about how that's going to look come playoff time. But with those two guys, man, and depending on, if they like, they're not going to be able to do that take turn stuff like when a good enough coach can focus on you in 7 games. You're going to have some real schemes. Now, I'm not doubting J.J. Redick at all. I think he can figure it out. I'm just saying I don't know if it's going to gel that fast this season. Will be dope. My dream scenario would be a Lakers-Warriors Western Conference Final. Don't know how that would match up. They have to fall on the different sides of the bracket, of course. But that would be my. I take a playoff matchup for them, the second round or something. I don't want first round. Second round, I would prefer Western Conference Finals though. Definitely excited. So I gave you 2 likes. I like the Warriors. I like the Lakers. I'm gonna give you some dislikes. Oh. My boys in Philly. Embiid can't stay healthy. Paul George had health issues. Hell, Maxey not even playing right now. I would have thought I would have thought that they would have been fighting for a top seed in the Eastern Conference. I was looking, and maybe Embiid really my guy, man. I've been saying maybe next season for health for a long time. It's crazy because he only like 31 years old. He like 30, 31 years old. He's not that old. But them injuries. Philly really disappointed me this season. I wanted a lot better for him. Injuries is injuries, but I felt like even without the injuries, there wasn't a lot of fight. I don't know if Nick Nurse was able. Nick Nurse is a good coach, great coach. I don't know if he was able to implement his schemes, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I just know it's been a disappointment. It's been sorry to see. Wanted better for him. I looked forward to Embiid and PG and Maxey, and that trio wreaking havoc didn't come to fruition. Hearing rumors that they might try to move Paul George. You paid a lot to get. You gave up a lot to get him. He got a big contract, and he's coming off a down year. It would have to be somebody who really, really believed in him. Don't know if you're going to come up off him. Hopefully, Embiid comes back healthy. They're talking about if he's not healthy next year, they will file for a medical retirement. That's crazy. I hope that's not the case. And you hope Maxey takes another step. So better luck next year for Philly. Another dislike. You know it. Phoenix motherfucking Suns. KD, what are we doing? Because I thought Budenholzer going over there and them figuring it out. I just, God damn. You know, I got to think that new ownership coming over there, getting rid of Monty Williams, trading Chris Paul, trading Mikal Bridges, after they made that, why not try to make that work? Why not try to make CP, Mikal Bridges, Kevin Durant? No, not Mikal Bridges. They traded Mikal Bridges. Why not try to make CP, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker work? CP, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker work. Why not try to make that work? I don't understand that. So that pass, whatever. Trade for Bradley Beal, not the fit that he thought he was going to be. He's obviously on the back end of his career. Got a no trade clause, so you can't trade him. Now he's eating up stuff. Now there's rumors they're going to trade Kevin Durant, which probably makes the most sense because you don't want to trade Devin Booker. He's younger. You want something unless you're going to blow everything up. And do you just like, yo, Book, you've been here for forever. You've been through so many changes. We should honor you and trade you to a contender so you can go ahead with your career because we ain't got it right now. Because I know he ain't trying to go on a full rebuild. But it's been a disappointment. Phoenix has been a disappointment. Yeah, so those are my dislikes. Philly and Phoenix, likes, Warriors, Lakers. I also like what Cleveland got going over there. Cleveland is real, real nice. I like what OKC got going on. It real, real nice. It's some good stories. Hell of a lot of injuries though, man. I was upset that a few people got hurt. But you know, that's the way the ball bounces sometimes, I guess. I think yeah, I think I done covered everything, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of The Large Picture with Javon Berry. Remember, wherever you see the show, like, share, comment, subscribe. I promise I'm going to be back a lot more. I got a lot to say. The fucking state of the U.S. is in turmoil, so I feel guilty not even reporting a little bit that I know. Hopefully it can help us spark some kind of movement, right? I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. This has been Javon Berry, another episode of The Large Picture. Peace.